I'll let Coach make an opening statement, and then we'll open it up for questions.
Well, this is, I think, to say a big win for our team. I think that would be an understatement. This is as seasons go along, and there's certain wins that take a little bit more meaning and than others, and this is going to be one of those wins. It's obviously against a really good team, a Troy team that's kind of fighting really hard right now. They've had some losses and battling, and we know how good they're capable of being. And and in our case, where you lose a starter Thursday, and you really don't one day, not a lot you can do. You just have to kind of wing it a little bit. So it's a rewarding win to see a lot of different players taken out of their comfort levels and finding different ways to contribute. And we can go across the board here. Obviously, Drea's Drea. 21 points, 8 assists. Once again plays 40 minutes. She probably, out of anybody on this team, I asked her to do different things more. We actually started out asking her to play a post, and had to go back to the point at times. And she just had to do so many things, and it's so great to have a player of her experience and just basketball experience that nothing phases her. Whatever we asked her to do, she found a way to do it, and so proud of her. And then the other one between the two players, she and Khadijah, I probably asked the most of in this situation. And then on top of that, Khadijah gets in foul trouble, and we're able to weather that in the second quarter. And she comes out, and as Chris says, she ends up with a true double-double in the second half alone. And it's no coincidence that, and he's recited the numbers to me, but we go in halftime really down, really getting out rebounded, and then she plays the whole second half, and we turn that table on that and rebound them, and that was a big difference in the game as well. So. Anyway, again, I thought, from a team standpoint, weathering that second quarter, I thought was crucial. With Khadijah in foul trouble, Brittany Gill in foul trouble, I thought that was big for us just to keep things under control. And and then the fourth quarter, back and forth, it was just a matter of we just had to at some point string together 2 or 3 straight stops to get a separation there, and we were able to do that.
Seems like this team just always finds the will and the way to win. Where does it come from? What is it? Just one of the players? Is it the coaching staff?
Well, it's players, and each teams have different mentalities, and this was just good to see. Because again, it doesn't seem like a big deal when. But a starter going down, it literally changes everybody, and especially for our team this year, because we've been so we haven't changed any. It's been the same starting lineups all the way through, and basically the same rotations all the way through. And you change that, and it just takes everybody a little bit out of their comfort level. They're having to play different. Khadijah had to play different positions tonight. Drea had to play different positions tonight. We asked Brittany Gill in the second half, and she was phenomenal at it. We asked her to actually go inside and play a post spot against their zone, trying to use her quickness, and she made some big plays there. Bradshaw's minutes increased dramatically, and she made some big plays out there. So it's just it's neat to see the entire team take ownership in this deal, and just again, as you said, just kind of the fight and finding a way down the stretch.
A couple of games ago, we were talking about Brittany Gill. She had 6 rebounds in that game. I think it was 2 games ago. Today, like I said, 8. But the other thing, too, Lauren Bradshaw, 8. There's 16 rebounds right there. I felt like with Lauren, there was a lot of rebounds there, crucial times that we needed.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and especially second half. I thought Bradshaw got better as the game went along. I thought first half, Troy was so aggressive to the boards, and I thought she got a little bit, kind of wide-eyed a little bit, with how aggressive it was, and proud of her to sticking in there because, yes, the second half, I don't know how many of those rebounds were second half of those 8, but there was a bunch of them, and as you said, there were some real crucial times where we needed to get some stops.
How important was it for you in the first half when the team kind of looked a little out of sync, to have Flannery step up and
Yeah.
hit those threes and really keep the score, as pretty much what it was.
Well, we shot it well, obviously from three. We've the last couple of weeks have been a real roller coaster for us and shooting the ball. But Jess is another one of those that, and I should have mentioned this, and it kind of goes with with what you're saying as far as hit some huge shots where we need it. Because their whole style, it just gets you out of sync and just disrupts you. And there comes some times where you just got to make some shots to make them pay for all that. And Jess was able to do that. But to build on that and when we talk about players out of the comfort level, Jess Flannery this is her 4th year with me. Today's the first game in her 4-year career that she had to defend a post player. We asked her to actually defend their post the whole game, and it was awesome. When we talked to her about it, it was actually today in shoot around. I didn't even bring it up yesterday. You could tell she was excited. It made her feel like she could really contribute to this win. And so not only the threes she hit, but having to defend out of her position was a big deal as well.
You started with the smaller lineup tonight, and then we talked about Bradshaw's ability on the boards, but 5 blocks. It seems like every game she comes in and gets a few minutes, but she comes away with 3, 4, now 5 blocks.
Yeah.
I mean, is this going to be something where you might look at it and decide to give her a little bit more minutes until Lawson gets back?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to until we figure out how long Lawson's going to be out. But those of you who were around when we signed Bradshaw to high school, one of the things I said when we signed her, I don't get into block shots. It's not, to me in women's basketball, it's not something I look at in recruiting. But you couldn't help to notice it with Bradshaw. She is such a great shot blocker. And you're starting to see it the more she's playing this year, her timing and her length. And I told the team in the locker room, I said on the radio too, one of the biggest plays of the game, and I don't even know what the score was, but they were really trying to take advantage. We had been fronting post. They were trying to clear things out, so we moved Bradshaw, just told her to play behind Ramirez, and they throw it inside there late, and she blocked the shot and then saved it. And it was such a big play to our team. I mean, just a big energy play for our team. So while normally I don't put a lot of stock into block shots, I'll put some stock into that one. It was big. It was
Turned
big.
around and made a 3-point play right after that.
You're correct.
Back-to-back plays.
Yeah, right after that. You're right.
With Beverly Kelly, you can't stop her, you just try to contain her. So it's kind of the game plan. It's like, okay, she's going to get what she's going to get. Let's try to keep everybody else in check.
No, that was not the game plan.
Okay.
We were trying to stop her. We were trying to stop her. I wish I could say it was a game plan.
Well, no, but I was wondering.
No, but
because some of the
no, but
shots
she.
you made.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to do the best you can. I mean, that's the thing. Brittany Gill guarded her, Drea guarded her, Dominique Oliver guarded her, and it didn't change. She just kept hitting shots, and she's one of those special players that sometimes it's like the harder the shot, the more she makes. And she just has a knack, and she's quite a player, and to get out of here with a win, and she still goes for 32. That's a big deal.
Going through 12 games now, how much did this team really push you guys tonight? It seemed like this one was a lot closer than the final score, and could have gone either way with 5 minutes to play.
I don't think there's any question. I thought there's a different feel about this game, and while the South Alabama was close, this was a different game. I mean, this to me had the feel of the Floridas, the Florida Gulf Coast, the Chattanoogas, those type of games, the intensity of it, and to where any mistake could cost you. It's a good game, and you're going to see more of this down the stretch. The second time around, people have the chance to make adjustments, and people are playing for their seasons, and people are playing for their championships, and teams are playing to get into the tournament, and that's probably a pretty typical February basketball game.
You were able to have one of their players foul out, 4 other ones with 4 fouls. Was the point of that? Were you trying just to expose them with your quickness since they had so much size on the court?
No, I don't. Again, I don't know necessarily it was a point, but I do think that again in the second or the late, especially fourth quarter, I think a lot of those came that we got really aggressive and they started reaching a little bit more. Drea was more aggressive, and we got on the offensive boards and got some fouls there as well. And then, of course, part of that also is when you do get the lead, they're intentionally fouling so that it adds up a little bit. But I think just being more aggressive probably led to a lot of those fouls late.
Anything else, guys?
Thank you.